here's a data set you saw earlier in the course. We have some information here on the salaries of 8 employees in the mayor's office, specifically how much each employee received in salary last year, how much each employee received this year, the difference between those two salaries, the percent change, and also the percentage of the whole, how much of the total amount given out in raises was received by each employee. And I'm going to show you how to use a column chart to visually depict or represent how much of a raise each employee got. Let's begin by highlighting all of the data in the A column from A1, the name, down to A9, Haley Blackburn. Now hold down the Control key and highlight the corresponding data in column E from the column heading percent change in A1 down to cell E9, the amount of money that Haley Blackburn got. Now go to the Insert tab and choose Column and choose the first option there under 2D Column. And right away, Excel shows you a column chart, what we're looking for here. And you can see that we have a bar for each employee, and the taller the bar, the larger the raise that employee got. So Earl Jakes, as we saw earlier, got the largest percent increase in his salary, and his bar is the tallest. Clay Allsbrook and Haley Blackburn are there on the right side of the chart with the shortest bars. Now, once you've produced this chart, you can edit it. You can do things to it. For example, we can come up here to let's see, this little drop-down option under the Design tab, and you can see that there are different kinds of chart templates that you can apply. This one here, I think, works really well because you end up getting an axis title for each axis as well as an overall title for the graphic as a whole. And you can see that Excel just applies that chart that template once you click on it. I could resize it like I'm doing here, just grabbing one of the corners with the mouse and pulling and stretching. I can also remove things, like I really don't need this percent change thing here, so I can just highlight that and delete it. I can click on the title at the top and change the wording. Let's go with salary increases, like that. I can change the vertical axis title. That's let's see, that's the percentage, right, or the percent increase in their salary. So we can give it that title, and I can change the horizontal axis title as well. This is these are the employees down here. So let's just call this let's see, employee. Yeah, just employee would work. And there we have a nice column chart. Let me show you a couple of other things you can do. If you'll click on these columns to highlight them, and then find the let's see, the Layout tab up here, right next to Design. Come over to Data Labels and choose the last option, Outside End. You get a nice percentage at the top of each column. We might want to get rid of those lines in the background because they kind of conflict with those percentages. So you can do that by clicking, let's see, Grid Lines, and then Primary Horizontal Grid Lines, and just choosing None, and that gets rid of them. So now we have a nice clean looking column chart. You can right click on this and copy and paste it into any other application you like, Microsoft Word, your layout software, or whatever, and have it in the paper or on your website that quickly. So that's how to do a simple column chart in Microsoft Excel. Now, using the same data, I want to show you how to create a column chart that summarizes 2 variables instead of only one. Specifically, I'm going to create a chart showing the last year's salary and current year's salary for each of these employees in the data set. Let me start by moving our original chart out of the way so I have some room to work. Just clicked it with the mouse and dragged it away. And now I'm going to highlight cells A1 through A9. That would be the name of each of the employees as well as the column title. Then I'm going to hold down the Control key on the keyboard and highlight B1 through B9 and also C1 through C9. That's the last year's salary figure and this year's salary. Then I click the Insert tab, Column, and the first of the column chart options. And I get a column chart here with 2 columns for each name. A blue column showing how much the employee received in salary last year, and a red column showing how much in salary the employee received this year. And so I can look at this chart, since it has those two columns for each employee, and quickly get an idea of the difference between each employee's last year's salary and this year's salary. Now for another trick. Notice how the data in the chart are sorted from smallest to largest. If I want to change that, I can highlight the data that the chart is based on, choose Data and Sort, and let's sort by the current, this year's salary. Right there, this year. Values here can stay the same. And currently it's sorted smallest to largest. I want to reverse that. I want to change it from largest to smallest. So do you see what happened? When I sorted the data that the chart is based on, the chart itself also changed. Now I can do other things to it, like you've seen me do this before. I'm going to apply a different format template. I like this one here, because I get the axis titles. And as you see me do before, I can change the title of the chart. Let's go with salary increases, and here on the vertical axis, let's change that to dollars, because that's the amount that it's in. And the horizontal axis, we'll change that to employee. And there we go. So now we've got a chart, again, that's ready to be cut and pasted into the layout software, to the web page, or whatever. Column charts are great for comparing values that are independent of one another. But sometimes you want to compare values that make up some part of a whole, or where each value is kind of a slice of the whole. That's the case in these data with the values in the percent whole column, column F. If you'll remember, that those values show how much of the total amount given in increases each employee received as a percentage. For that sort of task, we would want to use a pie chart. And let me show you how to make one of those. I'm going to begin by highlighting the data in column A, A1 down to A9. Again, that's the name of the employees. Holding down the control key then and highlighting F1 through F9. That's the percentage of the whole. And then on the Insert tab, this time I'm going to choose Pie Chart. And I'm going to come down to the first icon under 3D Pie. To give it a little bit of an angle. I kind of like that. There, so there's our chart, and you'll notice that you've seen pie charts before, surely. Each slice in the pie represents the amount of the total money given out in increases that each employee receives. So you can quickly look and see whoever has the biggest slice and the smallest slice. There are design templates for this as well. They're up here, and this is on the Design tab. And I kind of like this one because it gives us both the names and the percentage that goes with each slice. Now right now those percentages are kind of small. I can increase the size by going to the Home tab, and then, as I'm doing here, choosing different font sizes. That one looks pretty good. I think that was, what, 18, I think it was. I can do the same thing for the names over here in the side box. I can also increase those font sizes. As you've seen before, I can change the title as well. Let's make this salary increase distribution. And so now we have a pie chart showing us at a glance how much of that salary increase each employee got. A final kind of chart we'll look at is called a scatter plot, and it's particularly handy for checking whether two continuous variables are somehow related to each other. For example, remember when we analyzed this data earlier that we found out that the biggest percent increase in salary went to a guy named Earl Jakes, who also happened to have one of the lowest starting salaries, one of the lowest last year salary figures. And it seemed like the people who started out with a bigger salary tended to get less of an increase in salary. Well, if you might want to wonder journalistically if that's really the case, if that's a pattern, and a scatter plot can do that for you. To produce one, I'm going to start by highlighting the last year's salary figures in column B. That would be B1 down through B9, holding down the control key, and then highlighting the percent change figures in column E, E1 through E9. Then I'll click the Insert tab and choose Scatter, and just choose the first icon there under the scatter. There's our chart, and there, as you can see, there seems to be kind of a pattern. The starting salary figures are down here on the horizontal axis, and the percent increase figures are on the vertical axis. And it seems that as starting salary increases, the percentage increase in salary decreases, so there's kind of a negative trend there. In fact, let me show you what's going on. If I choose this design template right here, Excel will show us the pair of figures that each dot represents. So for example, this first one is a starting salary of $15,280 and a 40% salary increase. That would be Earl Jakes' right there, $15,280 and a 40% salary increase. Another way to think about the pattern is to choose this design template, which adds a trend line to the points. And now you can see pretty clearly that the trend is that as the original salary increases, the amount that the salary went up decreases. That's what the trend is. Now I'm just going to dress this up a little bit. I'm going to change the vertical axis to, let's see, percent increase in salary, and then change the horizontal axis to starting salary. And what else? I don't think I need this over here. It's just kind of in the way. So I'm going to highlight it and delete it. There we go. Just press delete on highlight it and press delete on the keyboard. And that gives us stretches the chart out a little bit. So there's our scatter plot. Not necessarily something that you'd put in the newspaper or on your website. It's a little abstract for that. But it could help you as a journalist think clearly about what this pattern is, what this trend is, and it might also help you communicate to your editor what it is you're about to write about. So that's how to produce a scatter plot in Microsoft Excel and use it to find a newsworthy pattern.